Now, before you start manifestation or doing all these crazy things and manifesting crazy things into your life, it is very important to do the inner work and do the shadow work. And what I mean by shadow work is if you have so much trauma that is stored inside you, like inside your heart, inside your mind, inside your body, and inside your soul, if you truly believe that you don't deserve some things in life, if you truly believe that you don't deserve all the happiness, you don't deserve all the good things in life. I mean, you can do all the manifestation process. You can scream affirmations in front of the mirror for 3 hours every single morning. You can even write out scripting letters, but none of it is going to be completely effective because you have so much trauma inside. You have so much limiting self-beliefs. So that is why it is very important to go do the inner work or shadow work prior to all the manifestation methods that you can follow later on. Now, why I say this is because when you have so much trauma inside, it's like every time you're trying to do something new, every time you're trying to go manifest something new, you might get it, but it's stuck halfway. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say you're trying to manifest a relationship, a very healthy relationship, but inside, deep down inside, you are very familiar to the toxic relationship. Like you're familiar, and that is what makes you feel home. Like all you know in your entire life are toxic relationship patterns. Like you are run by that, and you're not really overcome all the trauma that you have endured in all the toxic relationships that you had in the past. If that is your state, it'll be very hard for you to raise your vibration to that new healthy relationship. Let's say you want love. If you want to feel love, if you want to, be loved. In fact, if you're not in the state of love and you're expecting that, there is a, dissonance. There's no vibrational match. And when there is no vibrational match, your manifestations are not really effective. It's like you manifesting love and you get that partner. And eventually that becomes a toxic relationship again. That's not your desired relationship. It's like you want something, you get your desired thing, but eventually it comes back to this baseline. And that is your vibrational state. Let's say if you're vibrating at the state of anger and you're not, letting it go, if you're not transcending upward, or you're not transcending to this another vibrational state of love, joy, peace, enlightenment. If you're staying in that state, guess what? Whatever you try to manifest will come down, and you will manifest to whatever you are a vibrational match with. Now, if you are a vibrational match with anger, you will manifest things that correlate to anger. You will manifest things that correlate to the same vibrational frequency that you are vibrating upon. That is why it is very important to do the shadow work, to do the inner work, to actually go in and see like what trauma is there beneath inside. Many of you don't even know like how many things you're being traumatized by. You don't even know how much trauma you're carrying inside. You don't even know your inner demons. It's like you're just walking around life. You're doing all these external things just to act as a coping mechanism so that you don't feel the pain inside. And that is why you need to reflect inside and actually know what is going on. Like how much trauma are you holding? And embrace it, let it come. And the mistake we make is we don't want to feel that pain, we don't want to feel the trauma inside. That is why we go forget about it, we kind of shove it down in the back, we ignore it, we distract ourselves by other external things, such as a shopping addiction, such as a drug addiction, alcohol addiction, cigarette addiction. You start smoking weed because we don't want to address the pain that is there inside. When we start getting tattoos, because we don't want to address, I mean, tattoos are cool, they're amazing, but if you're getting it to avoid some pain, then you might want to ask yourself why you're doing that. Only when you address what's there on the inside, it'll be so much more easier for you to let it come up, let go of it, and then raise your vibrational frequency. Because if you're trying just to raise your frequency, raise your vibration, you're doing all these external techniques to manifest, in a way it doesn't really work 100%. Even if it does work, you will not end up being, completely satisfied, because that is not what you desired. If you're desiring love and you're getting a relationship or a situationship which is not really love, there's so much anger, pain, shame, and love just constitutes some 20%, 30%, 35%, and you were here manifesting 95% of love. That happens only when you are a vibrational match to the frequency of love. So it is very hard. Now, many people go manifesting a relationship, but they're not embodying the feeling of love. And you can ask me, like, how do I embody the feeling of love when I'm not in love? I mean, that is called self-love. How many times in a day do you talk positive to yourself? It's very common for you to talk so negative about yourself, to have all this negative self-talk, like, oh my God, you're an idiot. Why did you do that? Like, you will forget your keys. You will be 5 minutes late. You'll forget to turn off the microwave. And you'll be like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. That is negative self-talk. You're programming your mind to negatively talk, to have negative conversations about yourself. Why don't you have positive conversations? If you do something good, it's like you don't really appreciate it. Like, it's funny how we operate. Whenever we do something negative, let's say you're cutting a carrot and you cut your finger, you have so much, self-hate, self-negative talk that you talk down upon yourself. But when you actually do something good, you don't really appreciate yourself. And that is just self-love. So when you start appreciating yourself, you start giving yourself love. You start embodying that love within you on a regular basis. It puts you in a state of love. And when you are in a state of love, it is much more easier for you to manifest a vibrational match of a healthy relationship or a healthy partner. So that is the key. So that is why it's very important to do shadow work. So when it comes to doing shadow work, and a very big component or a very big concern is most of us, or most of you, are not really honest with yourself. When you're sitting down there, letting those negative emotions come up, you're not really being honest. Those emotions come up, and first thing is, you don't really want to acknowledge them. And the second thing, you're not honest with yourself. You know about your inner demons, you know how you feel, but you don't want to accept it. It's like you fear your own judgment. It's not other people judging you here. It is you are judging yourself. Oh my God, I have such dark emotions. Why am I having this? I mean, it's completely normal. Nobody is 100% pure, divine, source energy. Everybody has a little bit of darkness within them. Everybody has a little bit of lightness within a little bit of light. Now, the key difference is how, dominant they are. If you're dominantly light, like if you have dominantly lighter nature, that means you don't have much darkness within you, but that doesn't ignore the fact, doesn't substitute the fact that you have a little bit of darkness within you. The key is being honest with that. Be honest with that. Let it emerge. Acknowledge them. Be honest with it. Let it emerge, and then let it go. And once you let it go, raise your vibrational frequency. Put some self-love within your daily routine. Talk positive when you do something good. So when you achieve something, you're not really that, emotionally positive. But when you mess up something, like it could be a minor inconvenience, when you slightly mess up, you go overly negative upon yourself. And that is what keeps you in this lower vibrational state. And an additional point is, when you're trying to raise your vibration, it is very easy to raise your vibration if you have hobbies or things that you're actually passionate about. So when you're passionate about something, let's say you love to write or to paint or draw, every single day, paint a picture. Do it for 20 minutes, at least 20-30 minutes. When you are passionate about it, completely immerse yourself and you reach this flow state. And every person who's passionate about something knows what I'm talking about. Like, time just ceases to exist. Now, for me to overcome my trauma and raise my vibrational frequency, a very helpful way for me is to sing, is to write songs and play my guitar. As simple as that. So whenever I'm into creative self-expression, when I'm singing, when I'm writing a new song, that's my way of overcoming trauma. And whenever I do that, I write about all the traumatic experiences. I write it down in a piece of paper, and whatever I want to manifest, I also write that down into a song and I sing about it. That's my favorite manifestation technique, which works for me. Now, this might not work for you. For you, scripting might work, affirmations might work. All these techniques work. The thing is, you have to find that one technique that works for you and stick with it. Now, before you do all that, it's very important to raise your vibration. And before you raise your vibration, it is very important to let go of the trauma and do some inner work, do some shadow work. So inner work, shadow work consists of letting go of your past trauma and letting go of these limiting self-beliefs and instilling new belief systems and reprogramming your subconscious mind. Now all this becomes way more easier if you have some hobby, some passion that you actually love. Like if you love to paint, do 30 minutes a day, because when you do that, it immediately puts you in a very higher vibration. If you're vibrating at a state of anger, just paint a picture which embodies that feeling. Let it out. This is a way of letting go. When you have some hobby like this, like if you like working out, be very conscious and what is running you inside. And when you're working out, let that emotion, come through you. If you're fighting, if you're boxing, and put out that emotion, let it go. Once you let it go, it's much more free for you inside, and then you can go, raise your vibrational frequency. Now I write a song, let go of my inner trauma, inner demons, and then I write another song of whatever I want to manifest. And I sing about it. This immediately puts me in a very high vibrational state. And music in a way has helped me so much in terms of overcoming my trauma and also manifesting things in my life. Now, that is why I'm very careful while writing songs which are somewhat negative or has some hidden negative meaning, because many times I have noticed, like when I've written some songs, it had manifested in my life because they were completely negative. That's why I kind of stoop away from these sad songs, overly negative songs, especially suicidal songs. I don't really listen to that anymore, even though I like the artists, I like the musicians, I like the bands that actually make it. I like the tune, but I kind of avoided myself because that is kind of programming your subconscious mind. And when I even write songs inspired from suicidal songs and all these overly negative songs, it kind of ends up manifesting in my life. So you have to be very careful in what you feed your mind consciously, and that's the key thing. When you start using your hobbies, as a form of expression, you can let go of your trauma. It is much more easier than sitting down and letting the emotions come up. Now, I also sit down, I let the emotions come up, take deep breaths in and take a deep breath out. I use breathing exercises. So what breathing exercise do you use? It's basically, I breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 2 seconds, and let it out for 8 seconds. So this is a breathing exercise which I follow. While when I'm letting out that, in the exhalation, I imagine like all my trauma is leaving my body while being completely conscious of the situations or the traumatic events that have been caused. Now this is actually how letting go works. What was it, honeybee or something, or some fly? Anyways, this is how letting go works. Now, if you're unable to do this, just do it with your hobbies, do it with your passion, and slowly, when you start letting go through your passions, like consciously letting go through your passions, you can switch to this, because this is a little hard for beginners. Like, it is not very beginner friendly, because when you're sitting down and all these things come up, you're going to get paranoid. You're going to start freaking out. Sometimes you may even get panic attacks because you'll be overwhelmed by the amount of things that is going on inside your brain, the amount of emotions that have been stored inside your heart. So that is why I choose the passion route, like an hobby route, like painting, drawing, singing, songwriting, journaling, scripting, or writing a novel, or even you can work out, like going to the gym, working out. Just be very conscious on what trauma you're trying to escape. Just while you're working out, while you're pushing those weights, just imagine those trauma leaving your body. And that is a form of letting go. So do the inner work. This is basically inner work, shadow work, condensed into a very short video. Because if I completely break down all this shadow work and inner work, it'll be a 7-hour, 8-hour long video. That's how much stuff actually goes on while you're doing the shadow work and inner work. So when you do all the shadow work and inner work, you're much more free from the trauma, and then you raise your vibration. It's very easy to raise the vibration again, because when you let go of this, there's nothing holding you down. Like, you're free to fly, and when you're flying, it's very easy to manifest the things that you actually desire, because that is a vibrational match to your vibrational state. So hope that helps. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.